do.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right. Just tell me when we're live.
We've been had live.
Oh, I'm already a failure at this, but sup with it. Welcome to another episode of Melee It On Me. We're at the end of season 5. And who do we got here? We got the Dr. Z. What's up?
Greetings.
How are you?
I'm good. I just got back from a fantastic ski and wedding trip to Park City, Utah.
Ooh, I love
Everybody
that.
that likes to ski, check it out.
It's a great place.
Otherwise, I'm doing sick with it. Well,
Yeah.
with it because I'm not sick, but that's sick with it.
You're so funny. All
I
right.
think so.
MDZ, aka Matt.Zeb, aka Matthew Zaborowski.
Hey guys,
Not
what's
quite,
up?
but
How
what's
are
up
you?
with it, dude?
I'm good. How are you guys tonight? Just got in from a Smash Fest. Got a little bit extra practice going.
Nice.
Ballin'.
We talking about practice?
Yeah.
All right.
Working on those shield drops.
Sick. All right, and we got 2 special guests here today. First, I want to introduce is Peanuts. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Good day in Counter-Strike, so can't complain.
Here
So why don't
you.
you just introduce yourself, tell everybody what you do for
Yeah.
those that are not aware.
Okay. So you guys might have seen me at Apex taking photos, but so what I do is I work for Team Liquid, and then I also do some freelance writing for some other sites like the Daily Dot. So I basically write articles, take photos. Yeah, that's what I do.
Very
All right.
cool.
Ballin'.
And last, but certainly not least, we have PapaPaint. What's up?
Hey man. So wait, who is least?
Who's what?
Who's least? If I'm not least, is it Matt? Matt.
Whoa, whoa! Can't
Good
just come on
question.
here and
No,
start
I'm
talking
okay
like
with
that,
being
man.
the least. But
It's okay. I won't answer that question. Anyway, so how are you? And why don't you tell us what you do?
okay, I mostly make hype videos. Although I'm going to start making some other kinds of content pretty soon. I do a lot of work for VG Bootcamp, although I've done work for Clash tournaments and Melee It On Me, and honestly just about everybody at this point. So that's if you saw me running around with a camera at Apex, I was getting a bunch of hype footage, switching places with Peanuts fan.
Very
We had a
cool.
system set up by the time we got in the top 8.
Yeah, it was me, you, and Rob just rotating in and out, in and out.
Yeah, we got good at it.
And chances are, if you have seen a hype video for a tournament, that was probably made by PapaPaint if it was within the last year.
There's so many good people. There's like so many people doing really good hype trailers nowadays, though. I've got so many people that are doing such cooler stuff than what I'm doing, especially like on the graphics side. Salty Playground has been putting out some crazy videos. I don't know. There's been some really good hype videos out there lately.
Well, hopefully we'll later in the show we will hear about the secrets behind your amazing productions. So first, let's talk about, just really briefly, announce some of these tournaments that are happening in the next couple months. So what's happening this weekend or next weekend?
We got Bad Moon Rising.
And where and when is that?
Bad Moon Rising is, I think it's in North Carolina. I should probably know this off the top of my head. Yeah, it's in North Carolina. It's this weekend, and it's got PPMD, HBox, Plup. I think Cobal's making it up for it, so it's a really awesome lineup, actually.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else got anything else in March? Anything happening in New England?
I just have one event ending the month, which is Mass Madness on the 28th. But April is going to be our ticket. We get a big one coming up on April 11th. So it's gonna be the same day as I'm Not Yelling. We're gonna have the finals of the New England Melee Games take place there, where I'm Not Yelling has the finals of the California Melee Games, if I'm not mistaken. So that'll be a really fun day for the Melee Games for sure. And looking to get probably around 150 to 200 people out for that one.
Very cool. And then on the West Coast, we have NorCal Regionals NCR. That is an Evo event that is happening April 4th and 5th in Sacramento in NorCal, being run by yours truly. And we are doing the Smash 4 custom rule set that I'm about to win $100 from Arian from, because he told me that we weren't going to do it. So I'm thinking about how I'm going to spend that $100 right now. And so if you're on the West Coast and you want Evo points, you don't have many other shots besides NCR, and this might be a good time to come out, because I haven't heard of too many big people coming out to it yet. So if you want some Evo points, maybe try to get a shot at top 8. This could be your best shot. And then the very week after that, we have another tournament hosted by the amazing NorCal TOs that you know and love, called I'm Not Yelling, April 11th and 12th. The third installment of the series, first being the next episode, then Do You Fox With It, and now I'm Not Yelling. We've got
Did he just
Armada
die?
coming. We've got Armada, his first time in NorCal since Genesis 2, I think. And it's just going to be ridiculous. So
Nice.
come out to that. And
What makes it a series, though? Like you said, that's the third one in the series. Like, what connects?
what makes it a series is same staff, same venue, pretty much.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just it's that classic NorCal regional that
Mhm.
you all know and love.
With the amazing names.
Yes, precisely. And make sure to go to smash.gg/INY to register for I'm Not Yelling. Smash GG is coming out with a whole bunch of great functionality, not just for running tournaments, but for a whole bunch of other stuff that you guys are going to love. I guarantee it in the next couple months. So sign up for Smash GG. You need a Smash GG account to attend I'm Not Yelling. It's free and easy, email, whatever. Easy. All right.
I'm seconding that. We're doing bust signups on SmashGG as well. Smash.gg/bust2. Yeah, they're like just talking with them to kind of figure out like what are they doing. It's gonna be really cool. I look forward to seeing the final product, and like they're gonna keep working to upgrade it and make it better and better. I'm telling people it's like challenge. Like picture Superman, right? He's from Krypton. He comes to Earth. He's like super powered. You put Challenge as like Superman, and he comes to Earth and he's just beefed up. So it's like a super beefed up Challenge.
Definitely.
So it's gonna be really good.
And we got the Melee Games finals, of course. The Melee Games West Coast finals here in at I'm Not Yelling. It's gonna be
I
sick.
look forward to seeing that. Who do you think? Did you have any opinion on who it's going to be for NorCal? I'm hearing some things, but I'm curious about what you think.
I kind of feel like Santa Cruz. I gotta go with my roots, my Santa Cruz roots. Yeah, and then SoCal. I kind of feel like it's probably gonna be Irvine. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's like it's UCI. That's what everybody's saying for SoCal.
Yeah.
I talked to Pew Pew about it though. He thinks that SVAT school is potentially the favorite to win it all, to beat UCI even. SVAT's with the College of San Mateo, and I haven't seen really who else is on their lineup. I don't know if they've played a match yet. I think they did like last weekend. Against San Francisco University, and they won that. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen for NorCal. I feel like UCI is gonna like curb stomp people in finals even, but maybe not.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And then the very week after I'm Not Yelling, we have Sandstorm in Arizona. Nick, I don't know if you want to mess with the audio and talk about that, or if you want me to talk about it, or what.
So I can join in and talk about it.
Okay. Real quick.
Yeah. So except the video. Okay, cool. So Sandstorm, it's basically an MVG event in Arizona. MVG's been working with all the Arizona TOs and players to kind of make sure we get the funding and the space and everything we need to just ramp up and make bigger and bigger tournaments. So the last one we had was Endgame, and that got about 120 people in each of the events of Smash 4 and Melee. So we're ramping it up again, trying to double that. So far, we have aMSa showing up to that because he's already out here for
That's right.
playing. King and Zero both live in town now, so they're showing up. Hungrybox said he was going to make it out because King and aMSa are there. It's going to be a lot of top play. Yeah, you already know axe is there. We're actually convincing SoCal people to maybe drive out. Tafo.
I'm gonna try to come.
Yeah, Sheridan's gonna try to come, so that speaks volumes. I'm gonna try to open my house to as many homies as possible, and all of Arizona is really, because we want people to want to come to Arizona somehow.
Right. And wasn't the last tournament that you hosted with MVG the largest AZ tournament in history or something like that?
So,
Wow.
so the last MVG tournament, the Endgame one, that was the largest Arizona tournament in history. And then the tournament like a month or two before that was also, at the time, the largest Arizona tournament in history. So Arizona is finally ramping up and taking advantage of the growth of Smash. And it feels good.
Awesome.
All right, so I'm going to go back to my job. See ya.
Okay, thank you. And then the very week after that, we have Northwest Majors 7 in Des Moines, Washington, which is near Seattle. April 24th and 20 through 26th. So, stick with it.
Yeah, East Coast is gonna have one that day too. Oh no, go ahead, Sheridan. Tell people about the event. I'll tell people about East Coast afterward. Tell people about the event.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Go ahead.
All right, so we're gonna have Super Nebulous 3 on the East Coast, and that's gonna be in New York City. So like Nebulous, y'all know what Nebulous is, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the weekly series in Chinatown, New York. Gets like Hacks, DJ Nintendo, Moon, all sorts of really good players out. They do Super Nebs now and again. Like this will be the third one. The last one was like international players from Apex came out. Like a lot of Swedish players were there for the week prior to Apex. So Super Nebs 3 is going to be the finals of the East Coast Melee Games. And right now it looks like Kirby Kaze and Zoo are coming out. Hopefully get a carpool from MDVA, which I think Peanuts is helping to organize that. With like Red, Siren, Chillin, Nintendo, some really good players from MDVA. And so we're going to have the finals like with the New England, the Tri-State, the Ontario, and the Mid-Atlantic region winners are going to come out and play in a final bracket to determine the best school for the divisions that we have on the East Coast. And we might have something special in store, but I can't really talk too much more about that. But it's looking to be like a really good event.
And that's
so there's going to be 2 major events.
That's the same weekend as Northwest Majors?
Yes, April
24th, 25th? Okay.
Just the 25th, yeah. So
awesome.
it's a solution. People on the East Coast and the West Coast have something big that weekend. So you definitely want to check that out.
And then in 2 weeks, speaking of Debs, in 2 weeks, Leffen is going to be in New York, and he is going to be swinging by Nebs on the 28th. Yeah, so probably going to end up getting to see him and Hacks playing winners finals and grand finals, hopefully. Hopefully.
Oh, man.
If Hacks is playing.
Yeah, I mean, and then if Hacks isn't playing, then it'll probably be Leffen versus the Moon. So it's going to be really good.
That's hype.
Awesome.
I can't go there. I can't play Leffen. I got to stay away from that guy.
That's right. You got to make him hold that L
for
all time.
I already see somebody in the chat like Leffen MDZ rematch. Dude, in your dreams.
No way.
I think that now that he's TSM, I'm like obligated to play against him, which is going to be painful.
Is there a Team Liquid TSM kind of rivalry in esports that we don't know about in Melee?
In League, they're kind of like duking it out.
Okay.
Yeah, right now TSM is, I think, in first place in League in this season. So, and we're at like 5th because our AD carry is. Yeah.
So wait, has anybody else in Melee and Ami played Leffen. Are we 1-0 against Leffen?
I think Scars lost to him at Apex.
Yeah,
Scar.
Scar. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take 1-1.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
So, Tavakins, you wrote a whole
So-
bunch of stuff lately, so why don't you tell us about that?
So a couple of PSAs. Wrote an article to help out people who are curious about entering a tournament. So it's a guide to say, like, go over the few things that you should look for in attending your tournament, and really emphasizing the importance of networking and just getting familiar with people as opposed to performing well. So check that out. Marco, one of our mods, actually writes a weekly article called Community Content. So every Wednesday, you're allowed to self-promote yourself on the Melee Army Facebook group, and then we compile all the things that have been self-promoted in the form of an article. And so the heart of Melee on Me has always been that we're not just a one group show. We want to be a medium for other people to promote what they're working on and just kind of be a hub to encourage people to do that. I also wrote an aMSa article that was edited by a godlike Dr. Z. Thank you so much. Editors are highly underrated, by the way. And so, yeah, check that out. It just goes through the story of aMSa and his rise into the Melee scene from when he entered his second ever tournament at EVO 2013 to where he is now.
Just insane. That was the second tournament. Absolutely crazy.
It was a really good article. I enjoyed that a
Yeah,
lot.
it was a
Yeah.
pleasure to read that.
Thank you. And then we have another one. This one's interesting. Who wants to talk about this one?
I don't know.
Okay.
We were just
well.
speaking of this gentleman.
So, anyway.
It's pretty big news.
Yeah.
So TSM, Team Solo Mid, prominent League of Legends and CS. They have prominent League of Legends and a CS team. Do they have anything else?
You see that?
No.
Okay,
No.
so they do.
They have a Smite team, but it's not nearly as notable.
Is that working?
Okay. So TSM, Team Solo Mid, a popular.
Oh no. Sorry.
Oh,
I got
no.
it. I got it going.
A popular league, popular CS, and an upcoming Smite team has signed their first Smash player ever in Leffen, which is exciting news for all of us. This brings up interesting rivalries between all the people that are signed on teams that are in the LCS. So we got Team Liquid, shout outs to them. Cloud9 Mango, did you guys see the little banter between Mango and Leffen today?
No, I haven't seen
No.
that.
So TSM beat Cloud9 in CS, and then Leffen was kind of rubbing it in. So,
Such a good match.
So it's interesting just to see the cross pollination of other esports cultures coming into Smash. You see like Dyrus and other people mentioning about Evo, and so yeah, this is just exciting and just shows really the growth of Melee over the past few years. That now we have a player on like half the LCS teams.
That's amazing. I just wonder what's gonna where are we gonna be next year at this time? What's gonna happen? It's really hard to tell.
Well, I mean, I can just tell you guys there are more teams that are talking about picking up Smashers, and what it seems is that with every successive international event that's really successful, and the production values keep going up, the crowd attendance keeps going up, the viewer numbers keep going up, more and more teams are becoming more and more certain that, all right, we want to take this move, we want to sign a player. So it's going to be exciting.
How long has Counter-Strike been around?
17 years, I think.
So
Wow.
it makes me wonder if there's like parallels with that and Melee, because it's two quite old games that are now have sponsored by professional organizations.
Counter-Strike was like one of the first OG esports. I mean, you have CPL, you have CAL. Obviously, you go back to World Cyber Games, but I think it's definitely interesting that all the games that are currently being played now have roots that are easily 10 to 15 years old. I mean, even League of Legends has its roots in Aeon of Strife, which, if anyone here actually played StarCraft 1, 1, God bless you, 2, It was kind of the first like MOBA game, so it's kind of interesting that now Melee is coming into that kind of realm.
It's also kind of interesting too that there was such a strong preference for 1.6 even after Source came out, at least for a little while. So like just kind of the mirrored sustained community after a new game type of thing. It eventually died out though. I mean, it's still kind of there.
Yeah, I think once like Forest and like a bunch of other top 1.6 pros switched over, that was kind of when it stopped. But like Melee versus Brawl never really had that happen. You know, Melee's still being played. So.
Right.
So, quick question: why do we have you here, Peanuts?
Well, I wrote an article that stirred up a little bit of not really controversy, but discussion. So yeah. So, do you like want me to talk about that?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
please.
please talk about everything that you'd like to say about this article. Just why you decided to write it.
Okay.
You know, who you talk to, how much ever you want to choose to reveal, and your own opinion on it if you want to give that.
Yeah, okay. So for those of you who haven't seen it yet, someone could link in chat, that'd be awesome. So basically it's an article about Alex Strife is either A, coming back to running Apex, or B, he never actually left Apex. So basically this all started a couple weeks ago when someone mentioned that they were in a call with Apex and that Alex Strife was on the line. And I was really confused about that, and I was like, that doesn't sound right, he stepped down, but I kind of chalked it up to, you know, all right, maybe it was, you know, like some sort of contract that still needed to be fulfilled or something. But then about a week and a half ago, someone messaged me with some chat logs that showed that Alex was still running Apex, and that he was planning on becoming a lot more active in how he ran it, but that he was still going to only run it behind the scenes. And the vibe that I got was that he was trying to like deceive the community. So I talked to some people, and you know, just started becoming more and more apparent that this was definitely happening, that this was definitely a real thing. And so eventually it just kind of reached a point where I said, all right, I should start working on an article about this. And then, funnily enough, Hopit actually put out an Esports Express about Strife still being around. And then, you know, word got out that I was writing the article also. So people started talking to me more. People started sending me more things. And all in all, it just came out that I was like, all right, this should probably be put out now rather than, you know, in whatever time frame before someone leaks like a contract that shows Strife's signature on something. So basically I just put it out because I thought, you know, I was talking with Blair about it, that, you know, it's important that the community knows what's going on behind the scenes and that they don't get screwed over, basically. And I thought that if Strife, someone who the public had asked to be removed from his position, was still in that position without giving an explanation, without, you know, like any of that, that people should probably know. So, yeah.
Right. And remember, guys, this is when he stepped down. This was before anything had happened at Apex. This was only due to the reports of harassment from people from females in our community, you know, that reported a whole bunch of people saying that he said inappropriate things to them and that this was a pattern ongoing for several years. So this was before the whole debacle about the venue at Apex. So keep that in mind as well.
But yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much like how and why the article got there. Obviously, I can't tell you guys who gave me the information, but I can tell you it was a mixture of people from various organizations, and you know, the fact that it was coming from so many different people was what made me realize that it was a pretty serious thing.
Right. So after you published this article, we had several people. We had Shoryuken do a post about it. Of course, actually, I think it was the very day before you put out your article. We had Esports Express do a parody article, which was a uncanny portent of things to come.
That was amazing
Yeah.
comedic timing.
Yeah. So right after your article, we got a whole bunch of people that posted and tweeted about their opinions and whether they would support Apex going forward if there weren't some management changes. So Jabali, Bobak, myself, Lalex, Juggle Guy, Hectohertz, Toph, PP, a whole bunch of people, and hundreds of retweets of all those people talking about their opinions and whether they want to support Apex or not. Given the revelation of this, and if you guys want to read a little bit more, I made a post on Facebook explaining, basically just saying I'm not going to support or attend any Apex tournaments or Apex affiliated events, and that I hope people who respect my opinion have the same. And then in the first comment in my Facebook post, I kind of took
Sheridan.
down, huh?
But wait, Sheridan.
But wait, what? What happened?
Sean Numbers has just subscribed, and it's his 20 month in a row.
Oh my
Whoa! 20?
goodness, that's tied with me.
Holy moly!
But I posted first today, so I win.
All right. Thank you, Sean Numbers, for your support. Technically, it's not welcome to our family. You've been with our family for a while. We appreciate it very much. Now go on, Sheridan.
All right. Sorry
So,
about that, guys. But
Yeah, so anyway, I gotta say that one thing that really bothered me is not just him coming back, but the, I guess, lack of communication with the rest of the community about not only him coming back, but just everything that happened at Apex, right? Did we ever see any post-mortem from any of the staff about what had happened, their explanation about it, even, a thank you to everybody who came together and made it happen? I know that, some individual members of the staff said things like that, but did we ever get, a post addressed to the community from the leaders of, of this tournament, explaining everything, thanking everybody, talking about what went wrong, what they're going to fix in the future? I mean, it's been 6 weeks since this event happened, and we haven't heard anything. And to me, that's not acceptable. And the fact that, Apex was, people have the perception that Apex was a success because everybody came together and made something, something almost out of nothing, right? And that's left everybody with kind of this happy story about the Smash community. And I feel like that's kind of detracted from what the real discussion needs to be. And that it takes away from our ability to hold accountable the people that hold these tournaments and bring our community together, because it was only by the grace of Twitch dropping down like $40,000 or $50,000 that we even had something that you could actually call a tournament. So the lack of accountability and communication, I think, is something that I and a lot of other people have felt, but didn't really know how to kind of bring it out to the community without this article being published. And I think this is going to cause like a cascade of people kind of expressing opinions similar to that. So I don't know, MDZ, Tavakins, what do you guys think?
Well, so people are. I'm gonna go ahead first. Well, people are mentioning that Nintendo did some sort of mini postmortem, but I feel like it doesn't solve a lot of the weird questions that are in my head, such as they knew about the venue and the size of it, and yet they had 2,000 people over 2,000 people signed up, and the capacity clearly was around 600. And so there are a lot of logistical questions that I think all of us have that still haven't been addressed at all. Why are they putting a 22,000 to 3,000 man event in a venue that it's clearly says on the door can only hold like 300 per room? And so
did it actually? Did it say that on the door?
Yeah, Juggle Guy took a picture of it.
Well, but
Oh wow.
yeah, the idea is I somewhat give him a pass on that part of it, because the way the scheduling worked, there's only supposed to be the people who are in their pools in that room at any given time. But at least for running the tournament, that kind of makes sense. But when it comes time to run finals and you've got everybody sitting down in there to watch the stage, then like that 300 number doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, you would need to have cleared that both rooms, like in order for it to be decent for people to sit down and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, I don't even think it would have been enough for everybody.
All right, go ahead, Matt.
So there was like a little bit of a postmortem. Some people may not have. It wasn't from Apex staff though. And some people may not be aware of it. I was looking it up, and I found the link. So I'm going to link that in chat for anybody who's interested. It has, so like I said, it does not involve Apex staff. It has D1, Toph, Prague, Scar, and Wife, sort of going over all the incidents, throughout the weekend and what came of it and what their thoughts of it are and all. And it's a very good read. I definitely think you guys should read it if you haven't. But to not have anything from the Apex staff is sort of frustrating. I would like to at least see something go out, because there were a lot of people that weekend that put in a lot of extra work and wasn't really credited to anybody. So it was very unfortunate. And I'm not sure what's going to happen going forward with events, but it doesn't seem necessarily speaking that the community finds themselves 100% reliant on Apex at this time. It seems to be a generally shared sentiment from a lot of the groups that I see people posting in regarding Apex, where especially there are a lot of people just saying, like, finally we can talk about this. And that's sort of concerning, that a lot of people had sort of held that idea, tight-knit, like in their little, friendship groups within their local communities. Maybe they'll talk to their friends like, all right, so the event didn't really go that great, but what can we do about it? And now that it's sort of like the floodgate open for everybody to finally like get it off their chest and be like, yes, we agree, we want to see some change. And I think that's a pretty solid step forward. I know, well, there's some talks from the Apex staff to try to get in contact with people to help improve it, I imagine, but we're gonna see where that goes. I don't know what the future holds for Apex. I hope it holds good things, but I can't say for sure.
So it's interesting that both you and Sheridan brought up the fact that there was no public postmortem. Internally, I've learned from like poking around. Internally, there was a survey, there was a discussion about how the tournament went, where they went wrong, where they went right, what they should do next year. And I guess they've just chosen to not share that at all. So, I mean, I think that just points again to, this lack of transparency that runs rampant with Apex, it seems like. So.
Yeah, like, I don't know if that's better or worse that they did something and didn't publish it. Like, I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, it makes them at least like self-aware.
I think
but on the
worse.
other hand, it's I mean, we even for something like Genesis or Genesis 2, we posted a bunch of stuff on Facebook saying, if it wasn't like an official postmortem, but we posted the stories of everything that we thought happened and went wrong. And it wasn't like an official postmortem or anything, but it was communication from the staff about, how this event, this largest event ever at that point went. And there's been at least some tradition of that, I think, in Smash. even Planks made a post about Pound 5. He didn't just disappear completely, right?
Mhm.
Yet we just have complete silence on most of the issues from Apex, and I guess that's the really frustrating thing for me, because we've come to expect Apex as the premier tournament in the winter, and each year it breaks records, and it I just don't know what to feel about it when we don't get any communication from them about it. It's like, don't they think that they I mean the
And
community
there
gets to
can't be
know
all
of
that
these
much of
things.
like a reflection on it if it's still being held in New Jersey in the winter every year. Like, I feel like that's the #1 complaint. So
Yeah.
like that's just been going for years.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
and
I feel like part of that is just the timing of other events. So, I mean, you have EVO in the summer, and obviously, I think we can all agree that trying to compete with EVO would be pretty foolish for a,
Let's
like
do it in
big
South
major.
Carolina though.
Hmm?
Somewhere warm. Let's do it somewhere warm.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, that's the thing is you have to do it somewhere on the East Coast, and like Tri-State just kind of makes sense given that it's a transportation hub. Um, so, I mean, like, I can see the reasoning behind keeping the like general area consistent, but
mhm.
I think it does kind of beg the question, like, does this mean that we're kind of past Apex, like, as a tournament? Like, we have scheduling issues, we have, issues with the staff, with the scheduling. I mean, I think the thing that I saw most in the comment sections was just people asking, so what replaces it?
Mhm. Mhm.
Big
I don't
house,
think
big house. I'm just kidding.
Well, I don't think anyone could really imagine that if there is an Apex 2016, I don't think anyone would necessarily think that it's going to be met like with the same approach Apex 2015 was met with by the staff. Um, I think the
Fundamentally
severity
can't.
of the severity of the feedback that has been put out there by the community,
Mhm.
I don't think is something that if they and Apex is serious, it's not like they haven't been doing this like just for kicks,
Right.
but they can't ignore that. They can't ignore what everybody's put out there. If they're going to do another Apex, they have to do it good. Like, and not to say that that shouldn't have already been the mindset going into it. And I think that always has been like the intent, but it just has to be like far and away just a solid event. So I think that if there's going to be another one, it's still probably going to be a solid tournament. It just depends on like what happens this year leading up to the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's one of those things we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but that's what I imagine. If there's an Apex 2016, I think it's going to be a solid stride forward from what we've
Mhm.
seen.
I hope so. Just one other thing, like, not putting out a statement, that also allows people to fill in the gaps themselves and just kind of make stuff up.
Yeah.
Like maybe it was, not their fault at all, like this whole thing about the venue. I mean, that possibility is there. I mean, just crazy things happen, right? But if you don't say anything, what are people going to think? People are going to think, well, obviously these guys haven't said anything. That means they don't want the truth to come out, because that means they messed up, right? And
Right.
maybe that's not the case, but they haven't said anything about that. So, what are we all supposed to think?
I don't know. Alex Strife is the reason that I use contracts now with every new person I deal with. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to deal with them again. I'm not going to say much about it, but
Well,
I'd much rather someone else be my point of contact if there is going to be anything else going on with Apex.
Mhm.
Well, if anything, like it shows how much of a sucker I am because every year it's like kind of like that like player with potential. You believe in them. You're skeptical of their playoff performance, but then they come to training camp and you're like, oh man, like he's been working out. Did you see his jump shot? Like, and then you like have this like false hope
Yeah.
and you really want to believe in it because everybody else is, and then you support them, and then you get disappointed again by playoff time, and it's this yearly vicious cycle where, man, like they got Nintendo sponsorship, they got Twitch sponsorship. Maybe
Mhm.
it won't be a complete disaster like it was the last 5 years. Maybe I can believe in it. Maybe they did do something. And so I'm wondering if next year, like, I'm gonna fall into this like Apex hype train where they add in new things. Mysteriously, Alex Stripe is still involved, but yeah, I'm like, you know what? Like, they've sucked the past 6 years, but seventh year shows potential. Like, like that's what I'm wondering.
But
Yeah.
so, I mean, do you think that even if Strife is gone, that like the Apex brand is kind of like dirtied or like sullied, I guess?
I mean,
No,
those
'cause
I
are
don't
still
think
things
Smashers
that
so,
are-
might have
honestly.
killed us. That like if that doesn't sully your name, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be attached to it, but over time, I mean, if Apex continues along, I don't think that, Apex 2018 or 2019, I don't think people are going, if the event has improved and, is still around at that point in time, I don't think people are necessarily going to be going into the event citing Alex Strike things. I think it's just going to be something that is eventually going to be forgotten, in the next 2 years. Not to say like people are going to forget. People haven't forgiven Plank. It was on like Raw or something in the background. So he had a sign asking for his pound five money. So like, there's like stuff like it's still gonna be
Yeah.
known and remembered, but it's not going to be something that is. I think it's not going to be something that's permanently attached to the brand.
Right. And I mean, when you think about it from the perspective of sponsors, their first, the first thing that they're going to look at is what are the numbers, right? And they consistently see Apex having the most Twitch viewers and the highest attendance of any Smash tournament. So the Apex brand still has that attached to it. And I think it would be a waste to try to do away with the brand entirely just because of, a management issue. I believe that if, if we can find good people that want to take it over and manage it, probably even, people who work on it now. I mean, Nintendo is an incredibly capable person, given everything that I experienced over the weekend working with him, and I think a lot of people say the same. It's just speculation, but I think there's a lot of people that could do something with the Apex brand. If they decide to make management changes, and that would be, I think, maybe the best option for everybody.
rebranding is very difficult, though. I mean, at least in the esports scene,
Mm-hmm.
as I think as given as we are to rumors and kind of the excitement of the drama that's been going on around it, I think we do kind of have a little bit of a longer memory in that sense. I mean, even just from the little bit that I've seen today, there seem to be a lot of people that are voicing their displeasure with this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Fundamental aspect of rebranding is being able to get out a new message that's fairly cohesive and explains where you think your brand went wrong pretty quickly. So like we were talking about with no public sort of recourse. I don't know. It feels a little bit like Comcast. Like,
No.
just like sort of screw up and then like maybe come back with like a better plan to make you buy their stuff. So I think it's very important to like watch out and see to what extent the brand identity changes, and that's I think just going to take new management.
All right.
Well, I mean, I have always said, um, in discussing all of the things that go wrong in the Smash community, that it's always important to hear every side of the story. So I do think, before everything's said and done, Apex staff needs the chance to be heard out.
Mhm.
But, kind of the timeline for that is slipping away because after a certain point, there's like a statute of limitations, all right? After a certain number of weeks go by, you know, everybody just believes, well, you didn't want to say anything about it, and you know, we're just gonna go with our best guess about what happened from there. So, you know, hopefully we hear something from them soon, because regardless of everything that we've heard, you know, they still deserve a fair hearing about it.
And I just want to point out, in case people didn't read the article, I did reach out to both Alex Strife personally and Apex Series as a whole for a comment on the article. Alex flat out denied any involvement, and Apex responded with no comment. So, yeah.
All right. Well,
Next topic.
let's move on to something hopefully positive coming out, something brand new.
Yep. Also,
So-
we don't know too much about this one in terms of who is running it, and that would be Super SmashCon, a planned major event in Virginia, I believe, a convention center in Virginia. I don't know myself who is putting on that event specifically, but it's got 100,000 square feet. Looks like it's going to have all the Smash games except PM, I believe. And it's seeming like a lot of solid people are involved. I think Nintendo's going to be there. I heard something about his like orchestra or something playing there too, which
Yeah,
sounds pretty
yeah.
neat.
That'd be sick.
So just
Yeah,
to
it's
give you
awesome.
guys some perspective, he said 100,000 square feet.
That's huge.
The venue for Apex, the venue that we moved to, that total I think is 70,000 square feet, but they actually curtained off like the top like 15 or 20% or so. So we were only actually using about 55,000 square feet. So this venue is like almost twice the size of the Apex venue.
Yeah, it's gigantic,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So PapaPaint, don't you have some? Weren't you like part of this SmashCon Illuminati, something
Made
like
some
that?
cool
Yeah,
videos
Because
for
there
it.
were some. I remember we were promised some
The best
amazing
kept
announcements.
All right, so
It's the Super Bowl.
hey, I usually get like 10 retweets on anything I ever do, maximum.
Uh-huh.
That's what I was like gunning for. That was my optimistic goal, was to get like 10 extra people to watch Xanadu, like the same 10 people that are kind enough to retweet my stuff. But instead, I got like 1,000, so that was stressful. But basically, the reason I did call it the best kept secret in Smash. So just a little bit, and this is actually going to reveal almost nothing about SmashCon, but it should help clear up a little bit of the concern about who's running it. Basically, I got a donation to the laptop GoFundMe thing from Justin Wachowski, in a pretty good amount. And I told him that I would love to do a little bit of trailer work for him in exchange for that. And once he reached back out to me, he told me about SmashCon, and we set it up with all the info that's there in the trailer. Oh, cool. Go ahead.
All right, just real quick, we mentioned them earlier. Shout outs to Smash GG. Thank you for subbing. Welcome to the family, guys.
Thank you.
Should all check out that website, smash.gg. It's gonna be the
Yes.
future. It's the future, guys. Sign up
Me-
now.
Me, Juggle Guy, and MDZ are all supporting this guy and using his stuff. That should be an indication.
It's amazing. Like he has weekly meetings with TOs. All everybody that you could imagine that like he should be having a meeting with, he's got meetings with them.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So
we have
Smash
like-
G is solely one guy.
No,
6
well,
people.
I'm saying he because it's mostly this guy Sean who's been in the meetings, to my understanding. But no, I think it's about six or seven people. Six
Yeah.
people. They have an office in SoCal, and 4 of them are working full time on the product, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice. Even for like 6 or 7 people, that is a very polished product. So they're putting in work, man.
Oh, there's a lot more that they're aiming to add to it. So definitely, if you just pop it open while you're listening to us right now, guys, and just sign up for it. Just get in there like now, because you're gonna have to go through them for your future larger events, I'm sure. So anyway, sorry.
No,
Thanks
that's
to
okay.
Smash GG. Back to PapaPaint.
So yeah, no worries. So once I did this trailer work, Justin passed me on to one of the people that he works with. He owns a business in Leesburg, Virginia, which is up near Northern Virginia, and he passed me on to someone that worked with the major company that he represents. I don't know how much information to divulge. I think most of this is actually Googleable. So he owns a Lego store is what it is. Now he passed me on to a couple of people that he's worked with that run the biggest Lego convention in the country. So he is actually in a couple of the source videos that I have. So he's actually worked as part of this convention staff for these massive Lego conventions that sometimes are going for like 5 to 7 days. And he's got a lot of experience basically with the organizational side of things, with managing a lot of vendors, and clearly the experience needed to run this tournament. I mean, I say tournament, it's actually way more than that. It is going to be like a big convention, and that's why I don't know.
Music
to me,
and
it's
stuff
exciting.
there too,
There's music,
like a concert or
there's
something.
so many good vendors are. I mean,
Yeah.
I already know some of the vendors that are signed up and going in. It actually is amazing. There's going to be panels. They're already taking a bunch of panel ideas. Make sure you tweet at them with with any of your panel ideas.
What's their Twitter?
That's Super SmashCon is their Twitter.
Okay.
And they are taking suggestions for panels. There are already a lot of people that are committed to do some very cool things. And
Yeah.
that whole thing, like, he was reaching out to a lot of people in the community months ago about this. And so when I was talking about Best Kept Secret, there are a lot of people that are involved with the organizational side of this thing, and it's going to be fantastic. And there's a lot to come from this. I don't even know if it's necessarily exciting because it's going to be, I think, one of the biggest tournaments of the summer. But there really is just going to be so much cool Smash stuff there. I'm really excited for it.
I'm really interested to see like what else is going to go there. Like, I want to hear about this, this concert stuff, because there's so many like
so much
video game cover bands now, and I hope some of my favorite ones show up.
If we get Power Glove to show up, I'm going.
I would love to see the one-ups. That's my favorite.
Are the Neskimos still a thing?
I don't know, but actually, so for Genesis 2, what we wanted to do is have the mini bosses come and do a concert day 2 of our tournament, but we couldn't make it happen because we didn't have like really professional sound people, and they didn't want to do it if like we didn't have professional sound people, understandably. But like that idea of kind of like expanding the scope of what you have at a tournament, I've always liked. So I'm looking forward to what SmashCon has in plans for that.
I mean, just the fact that they had like Rob lined up to do some stuff with them real early on was very confidence boosting for me.
So, also, Jason, I do know what convention you're talking about because I've been there before.
Nice.
It's called Brick Fair for anyone who wants to look it up, and it is actually really smoothly run. So, knowing that these guys are running it, that should lead people to like be even more confident. They've done this convention for like 6 or 7 years, I think, and they're really good at what they do. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very exciting. I'm happy.
There are pop bonuses, right?
They're so great. Yeah, there's already $30,000 like guaranteed. What I understand
For Melee?
They're gunning for more. No, that's across all
For
of
everything.
Oh, okay.
That's all of it.
Jesus Christ.
But I'm sure that the the pop bonuses will reflect entrance to some extent. So, but
So,
I
do you
know
if
that
this
they're
is
gunning
planned
for
to
more.
be- Sorry,
sorry?
go ahead. No,
No,
you go ahead. Okay, fine.
This is amazing timing. I love this.
Yeah,
You can't
right?
beat this.
It's like when you're in a doorway trying to go left and right and everybody's doing the same thing. Do you know if this is planned to be a regular thing? Is it more to see how does it go? If it goes well, they'll kind of plan it from there, or are they already looking at SmashCon 2016?
I don't know is the
Okay.
is the honest answer, but my opinion would probably be that this is like an attempt to establish a brand. There's a lot of, I mean, like one thing that I can say is that their logo was extremely well designed. and that's not something that you can say for a lot of like people in the Smash community. It sounds like a weird thing, but there are a lot of like people that go for the free work basically, and they're, you know, they have cool logos sometimes, but it doesn't sometimes have that professional sheen. But all of the logo materials that I got from them indicated like paid professional work.
And so the other thing is that the Lego convention that they do run, it does have smaller, like, kind of off versions in like 2 or 3 other regions. So, you know, that might be another possibility that they're looking into.
Very cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're it's definitely being seen as a business interest.
Radical. So remind everybody where and when this is again.
This is August 6th and 7th, I think, in Chantilly. So they're 6th through 9th.
So that's in the DC area.
I should know. Yeah. Yeah, Northern Virginia, just outside of DC. This is it's the Dulles Expo Center, but technically it's in Northern Virginia.
All right. Very cool. Anybody else have anything they want to talk about SmashCon, or PapaPaint, you want to talk about your amazing journey in producing Smash videos?
Okay. I actually got to take a step out from here. Got something at 8. But thanks for having me, guys, and have a great rest of the podcast tonight.
See you, man.
Okay.
All right.
All right, later, Tafo.
Man. Cool.
Yeah, man, your videos are godlike. Let's hear about that.
Thanks. Yeah, they were awful when I started. But yeah, basically a couple of things that I kind of wanted to touch on that I get a lot of questions about. I get a lot of people that will like just shoot me these questions on Twitter, and then I sometimes respond and sometimes don't. But for anyone that's actually interested in making videos, just a couple of quick notes. One thing is that since we are getting much bigger as an esport and we're getting more attention, you need to be careful with your choices of footage and music. It's very important now to start using stuff that you have the license to, especially if you're going to be showing it on stream, because once you are in the territory of making money off of someone else's work, to the tune of some of the high viewed Smash videos now, people are going to come after you and shut down the content. And every like month or two, you'll see someone posting on Reddit, you know, here's a video with the audio that got taken down. I re-uploaded it somewhere else. That seems to be a pretty common thing. And it would suck to put a bunch of work into a video and then have it not actually be viewable on YouTube. So, so I really recommend going and finding places where you can buy the licensing to music. Envato is a name of a general sort of like design market. Audio Jungle is the name of the specific music stock site. There's actually a lot of really good music in there. You can buy the rights to something for like 10 to 15 bucks. And then if you go onto like all the various like SoundCloud and stuff like that, you can usually search for like cinematic music or, you know, dubstep, whatever it is that you want to use. And you'll find some people that will actually sell like the licensing rights to their songs through there too. And that's usually much cheaper.
What resource do you use to search around? Is it a website that you sign up to, or?
I would say, I mean, honestly, I do a lot of searching through YouTube, and like that's a pretty solid starting point. If you just type like royalty free and then the genre that you want into the YouTube search bar, you'll almost always get like a few links to a few different market sites that are selling that music. And a lot of times the most popular hits will be pretty solid songs, or at least part of a pretty good album. Like I'll actually share one link real quick of a bunch of music that I bought lately. It's just amazing stuff, and the rights to it are extremely cheap.
Okay. And I do want to say this guy Urzi in our chat, thanks to Urzi posting a Creative Commons link on Bandcamp. I guess just a full list of music on Bandcamp that falls under the Creative Commons.
And actually, this is from Bandcamp as well. I just linked it in this chat. I don't know how to put it in the general chat. I'm not in the Twitch thing. But the that I just linked there, Icon Audio, there's 3 albums from them. A lot of people use it for video game montages because it's very cinematic. It's got like really cool pounding synths and drums and all kinds of cool stuff going on. It's very easy to like chop it up and make the songs shorter, change up the chunks of the song, kind of change it to fit whatever you want, or mix a couple of them together. So go ahead and check out that music. There's a lot of quality stuff there. And then I guess the other thing kind of related to that is everybody needs to start like stepping up their text, their fonts. Mostly just because it's so easy right now. Like
What's the scrub to your font?
Arial.
Comic Sans.
Yeah, Comic Sans.
Yeah,
Comic Sans is like
I
you
use
have to
Comic
go out of
Sans.
your way to be stupid.
In like, dude, I was like
Papyrus,
11,
fine.
from 11 to
Papyrus.
13 on AIM, I had that bold Comic Sans green text.
Yikes.
Yeah.
The
All
green
about
letters with the black background.
Yeah.
Dude, I've just forgotten about that aesthetic. I hope that never finds its way into the mainstream somehow. They'll just bring back Comic Sans in neon green. But yeah, my text like this time last year just sucked. It was really bad. I think I did like the ROM 7 video and I just like picked like some text to some random font that I thought looked kind of okay and just typed it really big letters and just kind of went with that. So it doesn't take long to learn like some basic font stuff. If you just follow Adobe, for example, on Twitter, or Adobe Typekit, and then just search typography and search like follow a few of the top typography people, and you'll see like a lot of really cool and interesting uses of fonts. And I've really only stepped this up over the past couple months where I've actually gotten better with it. And actually, I'll show a little bit of what I've done quickly.
Are you going to share your screen with us?
Yeah.
Okay,
Is
cool.
that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. All right.
Here we go.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Cool. So so basically the Salty Suite was really my first time like working on a design for Smash. Up until then, all the hype videos that I ever made had been kind of ambiguous. They were just for a tournament or announcing a sponsorship. They never really had a theme outside of just announcing something cool that was coming up. So I had a lot of fun because I got to come up with like narratives for each of the videos that I made, and it was like trying to put together a little bit more of a story and keep a cohesive design theme through all of them. And it had to be something that I could make really quickly because I didn't know I was going to Apex and doing all this until like 3 weeks before Apex. It was I did all that stuff in like 2 weeks. It was crazy. But one of the things that I decided was that I wanted to have like this sense of salt coming from the air, and the easiest way to do that is I just found some really nice stock footage of this like dust floating and these waves, and that looked to me a lot like kind of like small salt particles, and I use that as just a general background. This is actually Impact, which is a horrible font, and I'm sad I used it now.
That's what it like that seems to be like the go-to, dramatic hardcore font, for all these like hype videos.
Yeah.
I don't know why
also
that's
the
happened
meme
though.
Font. It's the meme font.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's just, I mean, it's very blocky sans serif, which is very cool looking. But I would now choose a different font. But nonetheless, like I wanted to give it some. Let me fix this. I wanted to give that font like a little bit of action. So I've got this. This is another video of dust, but it's like this guy just dumps out a giant bag of like, I think it's sand actually. And so I picked this chunk here where there's just a ton of it flying around and does this kind of like whooshing effect, and then set it to map basically with the text here. So that's like kind of like flickering around the whole time. And it's not going to play very quickly. There we go. So So that like gave the text a little bit more of a dynamic feel, and that's very easy to do with this. This is Adobe After Effects, by the way. The Adobe Suite is hands down. If you want to do any sort of content creation, there's no reason not to have the Adobe Suite. You pay $50 a month and you get everything they make. That's Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, After Effects, Premiere. I mean, everything. And they have all these crazy apps attached to it. It's silly good. And they also have like so many free plugins. And then as far as fonts go, they have like a big free font library. It's great. But yeah.
Do you have any like recent examples of videos that other people have made that you think are really good examples of like the design that you've learned over the years?
Here's a good example of like kind of what I'm doing with typography a little bit more now. So this is the mini doc that I'm working on about Leffen, and this is very kind of I'm not trying to paint him as a villain. If anything, I kind of want to disperse a lot of the discussion that is surrounding that, because most of my interactions with him have been quite positive, and I've heard something fairly similar from a lot of other people. And I'd like to show kind of how his perception in the community has evolved over the past couple of years. And I'm not really going to try to like paint it very hard one way or the other, but I'm just kind of interested to put all of the info about what he's been doing over the past few years together, and have that all kind of available as an answer to people. This is a good example of just like slightly more inventive typography, just a little bit better design, a lot more minimalistic. Salty Playground does, I think, the best like design right now. Let me grab one of those videos on. I'm gonna unshare my screen too. There we go. Let's see.
I think we will be having Jogo Guy come on in just a second. But anyway, Go ahead.
Here, I'll just link this one. I really enjoyed that one. That was like the first hype trailer I saw that actually took advantage of the 60 FPS upgrade to YouTube, and they did it rather quickly. I really liked that video.
All right, let me link that in chat.
Oh, and then also the false, the Smash theory, like the Smash theory lessons that they've been doing are immaculately designed as well. Those are very pretty.
And then also, Jason, if you are a teacher or a college student, you can get the entire Creative Suite for $20 a month.
Oh God, that's sick.
Which I've started doing that because I'm moving over to Photoshop instead of just Lightroom, and it's a godsend, and it's super cheap.
There's so much cool stuff with it, really. Oh yeah, and honestly, the one other thing to mention real quick, if you want to get involved with making hype videos or any sort of video content, a lot of people ask me how they can like start doing it. And the answer is just pester the heck out of like whoever you think might need a video, and get like a few done for free, and then just like build off of there. Once you get good at it, people will start paying you for it. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I just pestered Gimmer. The first video I sent him was awful. I can't believe he uploaded it and still hasn't taken it down. But it's like it's atrocious. And then he actually wasn't gonna ever like contact me for that again. But then I made the two hype trailers for like Hacks versus Westballs and Matt.Zeb versus Kage. And then those were actually pretty decent. So that was how I got to start working with him. But yeah, it was just like through pestering. I pestered Prague for a while, and then Prague got me in touch with Kimber.
So, if somebody wants your services today, what kind of money do they need to line your pocket with right now?
It's hard to say. Like, basically, this is what I also do full time. I'm a freelance video producer. And finally, like the past week, I've been getting like a bunch of positive proposals back, and most of those have me being billed between like $30 to $50 an hour, depending on what the situation is. That is not even close to what I can charge in the Smash community. There just isn't that kind of money in the same way. Marketing budgets are very limited, and so for the most part, every project that I take on in the Smash community is on a case-by-case basis. That's part of why I mostly work with the same few people over and over. But yeah, more often than not, I'm doing the Smash work for around like minimum wage or less.
Yeah, it's been one thing I've been curious about, when I'm approaching people around Boston to see if, discuss with them about making videos. It's about, how do we determine what we're going to provide you with, in terms of compensation for it. And it seems like at this stage, there's not really a huge amount of previous knowledge that people have from the Smash community on like
Right.
what you can do in terms of like payment and compensation for people. So it's like, well, we'll buy food, we'll give you some, we'll pay you like $50 or $100, So it's really right now just a lot of like, I don't know, but I hope this is nice.
I mean, aside from like the 5,000 that you guys are paying me to appear on the podcast, like I don't, most of the organizations in Smash really just don't have a lot of money to throw around on productions. I mean, and that's like, I mean, that's to be expected. Like none of us are doing this out of, I don't know. If we were doing it for money, then we're absolutely idiotic. Like there's just like we have clearly failed. So I mean, it's pretty obvious that a lot of people are making content for for the love of the game and that sort of thing. But the thing is that's going to change now that there are a lot of companies that are putting in money. If these big sponsors are coming over, they're going to bring with them larger companies that are going to want to invest in more advertising space and stuff like that. And that's when you're going to start seeing production values rise. Because then viewer numbers are going to matter more than just getting the minor ad views in between things. There's going to be bigger advertisements at stake. So that's when we're going to see production value.
What's going on in here?
Oh, here you go.
Hello, Juggle Rob.
You're just in time. You're just in time, man.
Right.
You see what's up next?
About 90 minutes late.
No, you see what's next? We have the weekend preview. And
okay.
I think you're our guy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to cut things off. We got Jason talking about some beautiful video production stuff. Are we ready to move on, or what are we doing?
Go for it.
Jason, anything else you want to say, or any questions you guys have for him?
You can do questions at the end too, if anyone actually has any. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you do in your spare
Hear
time?
from Joker Rob.
Tell us about the person that you are. That's my last question.
Yeah, I used to play a lot of music. I used to be in a band, and I worked a wine and beer selling job. That was like my thing for like 6 years. I dropped out of school, went and sold wine and beer, and played a lot of music. And then met my now fiance in a band. We played in a band for a year and a half and did like a couple small tours together and stuff like that. And then now I live in Richmond, and I've just like fallen in love with film, and I've quit like the sales industry, just because I'm a very inattentive person in some ways. Like I need constant new things to stimulate me. I need to be learning new stuff constantly. And so film gives me like a really good chance to do that, because I basically get to learn about all kinds of crazy stuff, and usually very quickly, and then I move on to something new, which is
the ultimate outlet for like your having some sort of creative direction to something too, right?
Yeah, it combines like all my music stuff, and I don't know, it's great.
It's awesome.
What's your favorite Taylor Swift song?
The Trouble. Yeah, Trouble.
There we go. Great choice.
So are you gonna help us with that hype video for Super Nibs or what?
Yeah, absolutely.
You need those Taylor Swift beat.
What is what is this Taylor Swift obsession? I
don't get it either.
I retweeted like 3 of your tweets, and I still haven't gotten an explanation for why or if it's even like what.
Should I explain this, Matt?
Parasitic.
Yeah, this is why you have me and Peanuts cracking up right now.
So basically,
I understand.
One night a few weeks ago, I was stuck in the library writing this really shitty English paper, and I didn't want to do it, so I was
really shitty.
Yeah, right. So I was just like messing around the internet, and I was listening to Taylor Swift because 1989 is like pure bangers. And so Taylor Swift just moved to Tribeca, which is really close to Nebs. And so I made this post in the New York Melee group saying that I would give $1,000 to the first person who could get Taylor Swift to come to a Nebs. And
like
then what?
was like 2 in the morning when you did this too.
Yeah, it was like 2 a.m. and like people were just like really confused, but some people got that it was just like a complete joke. And then like the next day at 3 a.m., Matt texts me with like something unrelated, and then he's just like, "By the way, I got you. We're getting Taylor Swift and Ebs." And so we started the hashtag and just started making those really shitty like photoshops and good times.
Yeah.
And then like 2 days later we just said, all right, that was like really fun, we're just never going to talk about it again.
Pretty much. I should find the original. There was an original draft. I think some people didn't notice in the picture that we made. There was 2 things that people didn't notice. One was like underneath the quote, it was like unverified. And,
Yeah. I noticed
and the
that.
second, and the second thing was the Kage heads. There were 2 Kage heads in that picture.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
That's
there's
funny.
there's 2 hidden Kage heads in that photo. I couldn't let it go. I had to put something about Kage in there because like
a
when I was
weird
thinking about like, well, how do we make the image? I was like, I put something together. I found that photo of Taylor Swift. I put the Nebula stuff, the tweet on there, and then I found this picture of Kage from the Salty Suite preview where he's like in front of the green screen. He's like, you know, and
Oh yeah, it's such a
so
good
I
shot.
screen capped that. And initially, it was just a picture of Taylor Swift's face, and then like Kage's face, just like huge, just like left and right side. But then we made them smaller and hidden, but they're in there.
Wow.
Yeah, that was.
Shout out to Kage.
But yeah, so that's hashtag T
Kage's
Swift
in
for
chat
Nebs.
right now, and he's very confused.
Oh, I should find the original photo and the original image that I made. I'm gonna hunt out for it.
All right. So, how about this weekend? Apparently, Juggle Guy has something to say about this weekend. Robin, please go ahead.
Sure. I'm hosting Sweet 19, the 19th installment of a legendary inter-university Melee tournament series in Michigan. This one's going to be at the University of Michigan in lovely Ann Arbor, which is toasty 50 degrees. Spring has finally arrived. We've got 180 pre-registrants who have already paid, so you know it's actually 180 people, including Kage, V-Wind, Duck, KJH. So if you missed registration, sucks, but you can still come out and spectate. It'll be a blast. Ann Arbor, Michigan, Sweet 19 this Saturday.
Nice. Wait, intercollegiate? What's going on with that? You got people coming out from the schools?
We're not like Melee Games level where we're having crew battles or anything, but this has been a thing since 2010. That's when we started it.
Nice.
We just alternate monthlies at the beginning of the year between Michigan State University and the University of Michigan. Just an hour apart, but it's a good scene building thing. We like it a lot.
Nice. And
that is all for me.
Don't you have somebody special helping you out?
With this? We have Smash GG coming out. If you don't know what Smash GG is, it is a NorCal startup group who are doing amazing things on the development side to help Smash TOs and eventually spectators enjoy Smash better. What they've started with is a registration portal. So if you go to smash.gg/tournaments, you can see Sweet 19's on there. We got I'm Not Yelling coming up next month, is also using this online portal. And what Smash GG does is it combines registration data with bracketing software, and they're going to do big things with those 2 things connected. They've got an entire back end that can support just a ton of amazing spectator-related things and TOing-related tools. So I'm so excited to be working with them. And Sweet 19 is going to be the first tournament in which they're actually officially supporting a Smash tournament with their online portal and their bracketing software. So
Sick.
I'm happy to be, the guinea pig of sorts for that, because I've got backup, hard copies anyway. I could run it off Talon still or just with paper copies, but we're gonna test it, and I'm gonna have a lot more to say about it probably next time.
Yeah, it sounds like they might be making their way out to Mass Madness on the 28th as well. And we'll be testing the bracket software there, you know, round robin pools, amateur bracket, all that stuff.
Yeah, I'll definitely let you know how it goes. There's probably going to be a lot of bugs to, you know, kink out, of course, but that's what the dry run tomorrow that we're going to do is for, and then hopefully on Saturday we can get actual tournament progression. So we'll see. Should be fun.
Yeah, I really look forward to playing with that software. It's going to be a lot of fun for sure.
So, anything else happening this weekend? Is that
Yes. We have one. It is the sequel to an event in Lawrence, Massachusetts. We have a cafe, top and bottom floor that we are using. This event is going to have Melee, Street Fighter, Marvel, and I think Guilty Gear Xrd. I don't know how to talk. I don't know how to say that.
But, I've been calling it Zrd.
Zrd?
That's what I've been calling it.
The devs call it XRD, so that's what I think.
Well, they're dumb.
All right, I'll go with XRD. So, all right, we're gonna have that new Guilty Gear game that nobody can agree on how to like say the name. We're gonna have that, and
I
think
don't know
it's
how to
gonna be
pronounce that. Mr. Wizard didn't even know how to pronounce it.
But we're calling that one the workshop. Each event has a pot bonus, except for Guilty Gear. I'm not sure. I'm not actually 100% sure we're doing that. But Street Fighter's got like a $200 pot bonus. Melee has $100. Marvel has $500. We are going to be streaming that on twitch.tv/NE Melee for New England Melee. We have a dedicated stream team up here. Finally, we are in the future in our region, and it's looking great. You know, we can record and stream in 60 FPS, and it's fantastic quality. So I hope you guys tune into that. We're gonna have solid Street Fighter players. I don't know too much about the local community, but I know they got some good guys coming out. So if you're interested in that, but Melee is the last event starting at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. We have myself.
Actually,
Mafia,
it's Eastern
So-So.
Daylight Time, sir.
Oh
What?
my God!
Eastern Daylight Time?
Sheridan.
What even is that?
Well, we are in daylight saving time right now, so it is no longer Eastern Standard Time. It is Eastern Daylight Time.
Okay, so that
Sheridan.
so that's going to be at 5:30
Sheridan.
Eastern Daylight Time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You should have stood your ground.
Yeah.
Eastern Standard Time.
So we're gonna have myself, So-So, Mafia, Mr. Lemon, and probably Squibble and Claps. If you guys don't know who Squibble and Claps are yet, but those two are probably the best like rising stars we've ever had in New England. Squibble has repeatedly taken sets off of me. Right now we're 4-4 in the last 2 weeks. Wow. We've been to a lot of tournaments at the same time. New England has a very high tournament density, so we
matches in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we had a tournament on Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday that we played at. And Squibble's godlike. He's a Jigglypuff main. He has beaten Mafia. He's getting very close to beating Zoso. You guys don't know of him yet, but he did some really solid stuff. He got third in his Apex pool. I can't remember what Fox he beat, but it was a very good Fox. Maybe KJH. I don't remember. But Claps is a Falcon. I don't know. He beat somebody. He beat somebody in his Apex pool. That was really good. It was a Fox. But so it's gonna be a good tournament. And if you guys want to check that out, we'll love to have you in the stream and put on a good show for you guys for sure. He beat Animal. He beat Animal.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm insulted. Like he trashed Animal.
Yeah,
Animal was so salty about it afterwards.
Yeah. So he's really solid, and he's just getting better and better, and now he's picked up a secondary Falco. So there we go. But
sounds like me.
Well, that's me plugging my boys, but they're getting hella good. Is the point? Claps and Squibble, they're gonna be there. It's gonna be a good tournament.
Nice. Jordan, your Fox, my Falco. Next tournament we're at.
No, I don't have a Fox. I have a Falco.
Yeah, my Fox, your Falco.
Oh, you said your Fox. As in my Fox. Okay, but yes,
Other
I
way
will.
around.
I will send
Throw down
your
some
fox into oblivion. Anyway,
Hmm.
so don't we have? We also have, I think, a new North Carolina tournament this weekend.
What's that one
Bad
called?
Moon
BAM
Rising.
or
Bad Moon
Bad
Rising,
Moon Rising?
Oh.
one of my favorite Creedence Clearwater Revival songs.
Mm-hmm.
I hear there's no PP at this tourney.
What?
Yeah, someone posted in chat. He was supposed to come, but apparently he's not feeling too well. So
Oh my
Yeah, he put out a
God.
tweet regarding it.
Anyone surprised at all? Like, let's be real here.
actually, yeah, I kind of am.
I mean, you can count on like one hand how many tournaments PP goes to in a year. I mean, did you expect anything different, really?
Yeah, I
Dude,
thought
Matt,
that he would go. Like
What?
talking to him after
You and
Apex.
Spitballs have probably played more sets in the last 2 weeks than PP and Mango have lifetime. Okay, that's how many tournaments PP goes to.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, it's not a high number for PP.
It's just a little disappointing to see that.
If he had,
Oh,
if he
well.
had like a
Hungrybox-
constant
oh, that's
teammate
great.
and loved teams, he would be around all the time.
Why does he team with Twitch? His brother. Don't they play a lot? I don't know. I don't know anything. Hungrybox is coming up all the way from Florida, so I really wanted to see that because, there's only been one PP Hungrybox set in like the last 18 months. We need more of that matchup. That's like the rarest inter-god match right now.
Yeah, I want to see more of those. I need to learn from those.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then also we've got a Bay Area Monthly happening this weekend featuring your favorite NorCal players like me and maybe other also Shroom and SFAT and Kevin Toy.
If you're making the tournament title, Sheridan, we know that it's not quite a stacked turnout. All right, let's just Shroom, SFAT, and Sheridan. That's a big drop off. One of these does not belong.
Actually, I don't know who's going, but we almost always have one of our NorCal top 3 coming, so it'll be good, and it'll be on Showdown, which is always high quality.
Yeah.
The only question that matters is Jeff going?
I don't know.
I don't get hyped for Silent Spectre anymore. I'm sorry. Doesn't happen.
What's wrong with you?
Dude, it's just I don't want to say he's washed up, but he doesn't I don't know, man.
Oh!
He doesn't do it for me anymore.
Okay.
I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it from Silent Spectre anymore.
I think his playing style is not very well suited to the 2015 Stacy. At least Falco.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on. What's next on the agenda?
Well, what's next on the agenda is there anything for this weekend? And if not, let's just go through the regionals that are coming up, and then ask.
Just the last one for this weekend is Nebulous, of course, in New York City, streaming on twitch.tv/SigMelee. Some of the best players in Tri-State show up to that on a weekly basis, so check it out.
And Hax is currently learning how to play Falco. Or not learning how, but polishing.
What?
Oh god, I've seen stuff Falco that like I played Hax's Falco
You still have
before
that hand
Guts
injury?
3.
Yeah,
yeah,
he
he
still
does.
does. But he was
But I
literally
played
just
Falco
playing on
before.
stream about 20 minutes
Switching
ago.
spots to Falco is really just it's gonna make that much of a difference that he can actually play. Because from what it sounds like on his tweets, I don't think it sounds like it's not going to be healthy for him to play at all. Right?
It won't be, but I don't think he's planning on playing this weekend. He's pretty serious about getting his surgery on his hands. But I do know just he's working on a Falco, and maybe it's just some that he's doing to avoid the ditto.
Falcon needs to come back.
He's played Falcon after Nebs is over. He's done that like 2 or 3 times. He still has fun with it, but just he said he's never going to play it in tournament again.
Exhibition. I want the tournament Falcon. I want it. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Very sad.
Well, okay. All right. So what regionals
also,
do we have
PC
coming
Chris
up?
might come this week.
Oh, to Nebs?
Ooh.
Yeah, I think so. Cause
Isn't he going to Sandstorm too?
Yeah,
What?
he is.
What? Really?
That's super random.
Yeah, he's. I don't know. He's just like
When's
going to
the last
Arizona.
time PC went to an out of state or an out of region tournament? It's probably been since before Brawl came out, right?
Probably.
It's all he's been to are the ROMs and Apexes of the tri-state area, I feel, since Brawl.
Yeah, he hasn't been to a Mass Madness since 2008. I kind of helped him.
By the way,
I helped him
what's
arrive
up
at
with
that
this
decision.
M2K moving to Arizona? Is that a thing?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to go for like MVG and sponsors.
Poor X.
Nah, dude, what are you talking about? X is gonna body him.
Okay, maybe so, but you know how Arizona's so low tier rich as a region? Yeah, that M2K is gonna suck the life out of that shit. Yeah. There's not gonna be any more Yoshis and Mewtwo's flying around. Anyway.
Okay, so regionals coming up. What's happening this month?
Well, we have Mass Madness at the end. Sounds like there's also a solid suite. If that counts as regional, I would think it does, right?
Ish. So like a super large local with Kage and V wins from out of region.
Okay.
All right, and then in
I'm
April,
not sure of other areas. Mm-hmm.
in April, we have one regional every week in the West Coast.
Yeah, it's packed. I've seen the schedule.
Yeah. So we have NCR, NorCal Regionals, the EVO qualifier in Sacramento, April 4th and 5th, being run by myself and some of the great NorCal Smash 4 people like Nanners and DC. And we are doing, of course, customs on. So I'm ready to take Robin's $20 and Arian's $100.
God.
It's going to be great.
That's why I need to money match your Falco. I need to take back this $20 because it looks like Evo is going to stick with this customs for inexplicably.
I think there's an excellent explanation for it. That's not true.
The entire history suggests otherwise. Like I placed my money on logic. You just placed it on luck, and you're gonna win $20. Luckily, that's just what a shame. God damn it.
Anyway, so after that successful tournament with customs, the week after is I'm Not Yelling in Oakland, California, at the next episode to Foxwood at venue, and the same amazing staff in NorCal. Armada is coming. That's insane. Hungrybox is very likely to be there. A whole bunch of, your favorite SoCal and NorCal players. It's going to be sick. And then the week after that, in Arizona, we have Sandstorm featuring, again, Armada, who's traveling down there from NorCal. Presumably Mewtwo King, given that he's moved there for this tournament.
He's just going to sit on his couch and stream all day. You want to actually.
Yeah. Allegedly PC Chris, I don't know what to make of that, but if that's true, that's sick with it. And I believe it was being run by another Melee It On Me member, the one and only Dark Dragoon. And this is part of the MVG thing that this guy is trying to start up. I'm thinking of attending this just to, scope out this MVG thing because, we'll see what happens. It could be sick.
Sheridan, you neglected to mention that Team Liquid's very own Hungrybox will also be at Sandstorm.
Team Liquid's very own Hungrybox will be at Sandstorm. Thank you.
Team Liquid HyperX, by the way.
Oh man, that is looking like a pretty attractive going list.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Forward is going. Let's go.
This is set to be the third in a row Arizona regional breaking records in their region for largest attendance. And then the week after that, in case you didn't have enough West Coast regionals, there is Northwest Majors in Seattle, in the Seattle area, April 24th and 25th. I don't know who we have confirmed for that, but in the NorCal Facebook group, we've got a thread going about who's going to what tournament, trying to get a whole bunch of people out there. I know that DeJuan has some interest in going to Northwest Majors.
Mhm.
And if you remember the last time he was there, I think he took out Mewtwo King, did he not?
Beat M2K, took him down.
Took him out.
Yes, he did.
Fallen.
Now, is there anybody who's going to be crazy enough to go to all 4 of these West Coast tournaments? If so, we should give them a medal. That would be impressive.
I'll do a Kickstarter, and you guys can send me.
I mean, I'm already running the first 2, so I might do it. I might be crazy enough to do it.
I believe in you, Sheridan.
We'll see. Okay, what else is going? What other regionals do we have in the rest of the world?
For April, I mentioned it earlier, we have Bust 2. That's also April 11th. And we're going to have the finals of the New England Melee Games there. Signups are live also on SmashGG. And then also in the Northeast, we're going to have Super Nebulous 3, which is looking pretty good. I think it's going to be the first Nebulous that Kirby Kaze makes it out to. It sounds like Zoo is coming as well. I don't think he's been to one either. And some plans for, a little player fund and get a carpool going. So that one's also going to be a really hype event. So, if you're up in the Northeast, come up to Bust 2, come out to Super Nebs. It's going to be solid month. Nothing really between them. Like April 4th, we're going to have an event at Harvard in New England, but it's just going to be a smaller thing. And April 18th doesn't seem to have anything, to my knowledge.
All right. Anything going on in the South or Midwest those weekends?
Nothing that I don't. Nothing I know of. I don't know anything in like Florida or Texas. Yeah, in April.
Actually, to give a little plug, on Easter weekend, we're going to be flying out West Balls to Michigan to participate in the last suite of the season. So that's pretty hype. We put together a good player fund and maxed it out in about 3 days. So that'll be pretty exciting.
Robin, can you teach me your ways in running a good player fund, please?
I didn't actually do it. It was a very very quick process run by a guy named Fendrick Lamar out in Michigan, up and coming Marth player, and he got West Balls out. I don't know how he did it, but he worked his magic and convinced him to come out.
Nice. SmashGG is actually working on doing like a integrated good player fund type thing, so it kind of takes the.
Didn't quite have the SmashGG like donation type of portal set up yet, so we still did it old school PayPal for this one. But I'm very excited for the possibility of that in the future. What we did is, I guess what Fendi did is set up an incentives program. So you donate like $5, you find out who the mystery player being flown out is. You donate $10,
that's kind of neat.
That's kind of cool.
You get a best of 3 set with them if you donate $10, and you get a best of 5 if you donate $20.
That's actually really awesome.
Donate 50, it's like on stream, and the highest donor manually besides that gets the team with West Balls. And somebody dropped $130 straight up when that was announced and snatched up.
It might be the value proposition, if you win the tournament.
Right. Exactly.
Because you get all the ladies and then people.
Well, you might earn your money back.
Oh yeah.
Wait, you get ladies for your tournaments in the MDVA?
I mean, I wouldn't word it that way because you can't own people anymore.
Well, that's true.
And that's like just an awful suggestion. So no is my answer. My answer is officially no. I want to go on record as no.
I'm also saying that we've got a pretty sizable Texas regional happening March 28th. It looks like somebody's saying that Shockwave in Texas is supposed to have Axe, West Balls, Red, Milkman, Zero, DeBuzz, and Texas's Best. So that's pretty That's a pretty strong lineup. So that's the last
Pretty strong
weekend
region,
of
right?
of March.
Yep.
What's the stream? Evil Tales or anybody in Texas? Can you link what the stream channel will be for that?
I mean, it would just be tourney locator, right? I assume.
Is that right?
Yeah, down in Texas, probably.
I
It's
don't know
called
for.
Shockwave.
Yeah, I don't know which game that they'll be streaming though. I doubt that they'd be able to stream all 3 games happening there. So, yeah, I don't know if there's a Melee dedicated stream or something. Let's just have Dingus do the research.
All right,
And
Dingus, you're
wait
on the
for when
case.
Melee. Yeah, I'm too lazy to look it up right now.
I'm so glad we have a Dingus in our lives to do that for us.
Yeah. Taken out of context, that can be kind of scary, but let's just move on. We'll move on.
I mean, it
All
still
right.
applies in this situation.
You know,
I
yeah.
guess so.
All right.
Yes.
Fair enough.
All right. So, anything else, or do we have some Ask MIOM questions we can do real quick?
We've
Do an
got
Ask MIOM.
4 on Twitter.
Oh, we can do better than that. Come on, guys.
Yeah, if anybody else, like, hit us up, hashtag AskMIOM on Twitter if you want us to answer your question. I mean, there's a couple of them. There's 4 here. You know, we'd like more variety to pick from, fellas.
Well,
Help
let
us
me
out.
just do this one real quick. All right.
All right.
So, at I'm Not Yelling, we've got aMSa, of course. And he's shown off his brand new Fox. Well, not brand new, but this new and
Yeah,
improved
what's the
Fox.
question
So,
now?
Ryan Lindahl is asking Matt.Zeb and Juggerob, who do you think will win I'm Not Yelling? And I just want to remind you that, Hungry Box is going to get, if he comes, which is pretty close to certain, he's going to have a shot at this Fox. And what do you think about that? Is he going to do it?
Have they
what's
played?
funny? At Apex, every single top 8 set, I made a bet. And I got one side bet wrong. And that was Armada versus Hungry Box. I thought, in Mango's words himself, nobody beats Hungry Box in a full set as Fox, their first time going Fox. Except Mango, myself. Well, didn't Armada just straight up do it at Apex? So he proved people wrong there. I think his capacity to adapt will be just as strong as HBox, and I'll take Armada again. For I'm Not Yelling.
All right.
Yeah,
I would
and
generally be inclined to say Armada over HBox, especially if it's the Fox matchup. HBox has... I've heard him complain pretty heavily about playing Puff Fox.
I
So-
also want to add that I feel like HBox isn't a guarantee to get a second, even. I could see him losing to maybe Lucky again as a threat.
Sure.
Even Shroom took him to Game 5 at Apex. Pupi,
Kevin
you
Toy,
straight up
of course.
Yeah,
beat him
K-Toy.
at Apex. So, you can't be just
Sure.
shooing in Hungry Box second. I think there's even a possibility.
I'm not saying
that he gets
he's shooing for second, but if there's somebody that can take it from Armada,
it. Yeah.
he's got to be your pick.
I
Do you think
disagree.
anyone
I think
else
that
has any shot at Armada's Fox besides him?
I was going to say, I think that Armada's just a lock-in. I honestly, the way that he played against Hungry Box at Apex was incredible. And I think just his Fox in general is so fundamentally sound. And obviously he's such a punish-heavy player, and he has great he's a great all-around player. I think that he's just an obvious lock-in.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else have any thoughts on this one, or can we read off another question?
I just really want to see our NorCal top 3 against Armada because have we had a shot at Armada?
Occasionally, Zach lost him at Big House and Paragon.
Yeah.
Shroomed, I think 2 Apexes ago. Pew at MLG kind of got bopped. So the NorCal Big 3 has all played Armada, but it's more infrequent than it should be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Silent Spectre will, of course, be at I'm Not Yelling, who is
If he-
1-0 against Armada.
If
Undefeated.
they're on a collision course in bracket, Jeff should just drop the set before
I
Armada.
think so.
There's-
Yeah,
He needs to keep that 1-0 record.
yes.
Take it to his grave.
That's right.
He's got to put that on his resume. It should be on his gravestone. Just put it Put it down.
SS versus Armada.
Father,
Armada.
son, 1-0 on Armada.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
All right.
All right.
So
what's the next
there
one?
is a question here that I like a lot. There are some people talking about tier lists, and I think we should address that. But this is one that I like, and it's regarding mindset. This is from DZ Ray. His question is, how does someone fix their mindset mid-game? Like, is there anything I can do to get better? And my thought on that, my immediate thought isn't so much that it's that your mindset is incorrect, but I think it's more how you respond to it in terms of how much focus you give it as you're playing. I think if you find, and this is, I don't know how many of our viewers know, but this is coming from somebody who has had throughout the years occasional difficulty handling a loss, and so I've put considerable thought into this, for myself, and the biggest thing I found is that if you notice that your mindset starts to slip, if you find that you're playing the match and you're thinking too much about like that you're losing or that your opponent is now on the ledge and he's a stock up and it's like, if I go to the ledge I might die, you're just thinking too much about it, that's really where you're going to start to see yourself fail. So it's more that you can't really indulge certain thought processes, because it's going to lead you down a path of taking yourself out of the match and opening yourself up to technical errors, judgment errors, or just general frustrations. And so you really need to think pretty heavily on what happens. One common thing is that people might be playing somebody better than themselves, and maybe you're doing a good job. Your thoughts then go to telling your friend that, oh, dude, I just beat this guy, but you're still playing game 3, but you want to think about the after as it's still happening. Mm-hmm. And that's a very common thing I've found from talking with other players.
I think it works the other way too, where you think about, oh, I've lost to this guy, and that that it's going to make you lose when you think you've already lost.
Right.
Of course.
What I've found very effective for combating those two things, what you just brought up, I like a lot, where you're talking about if you've already accepted the loss, if you're already thinking you're going to lose, it's basically you've accepted it. What you can sort of do to reorient that thought process is, instead of saying like, oh, I'm going to lose, it's like, all right, well, he's got 4 stocks, I have 2 stocks, or I have 1 stock, whatever. I'm just going to play the rest of this stock out to just observe their play style and try to learn from it. And so you sort of reorient the thought process into just like observing and learning, which then you never know. Maybe you'll start to see things that you didn't see before, and that'll turn around the match for you. And the other one that we were talking about is, when you take your mind out of the game and you're starting to think about telling your friends, it's just really something that you need to recognize you can't indulge and then just ignore. And it sounds really simple. It's not. It is something that you have to do a lot of introspective thought for, to figure out what's leading you down the particular path that puts you in a position where you think you need to fix your mindset. So I don't think it's so much that you have a bad mindset. It's so much that you indulge the initial thoughts while you're playing a match that bring you toward defeat, basically.
Yeah, and like one thing that I've always tried to do when I'm playing is, no matter what the situation, I visualize like a path to victory. Like I've done a lot of I've never done a 4 stock to 1 comeback, but I've done a lot of 3 stock to 1s.
I did that at Apex.
Nice.
Yeah.
So with Puff, like the way I think about it is, usually when it's 3 stock to 1, the other person's got like high percent. So I just think, all right, I'm down 3 stock to 1. Here's my plan. My plan is just get rid of this stock real quick, and then I need 1 cheesy stock and 1 legit stock, and that's what I'm gonna do, and that's 3 stocks right there. So it's just there's always a path to success, and you just have to visualize it. And this kind of, I kind of like this thing that I'm about to say, even though it sounds like a BuzzFeed article that like is or some Upworthy article that makes you, affirm life or whatever.
You won't
But
believe what Hayuga says at
right.
27 minutes.
So I don't remember where this was done or how many times this experiment has been repeated, but it has been shown that just thinking about doing exercise and taking nutrition for like doing exercise will build your muscle. I mean, obviously it won't do it anywhere near as much as actually doing exercise does, but like visualizing that in your mind makes your brain think about, going through the process of building muscle in your body. So it's just kind of one of those things where, visualizing what you want to accomplish is it's the beginning of actually getting to what your goals are. And it's like I like that experiment because every like self-help guru or whatever like says visualize blah blah blah, but it's an example where there's actual tangible results from doing that. And I think that's an interesting example that kind of can make you more confident that that kind of visualize your goal advice is actually something to pay attention to.
I do want to add on to that. There's sort of in the same vein where you're setting your goals, you're visualizing, and then maybe you go and you're doing good, you've got a plan, and you go and you start to tell people like, oh, I'm going to do this, it's going to be awesome. Whether it's Smash related or whether it's just yourself, whatever. When you tell people that you're going to aim to accomplish a task, in a certain sense, you get a feeling of already completing it. From sharing the experience of talking to somebody and both of you agreeing like, oh, that's so awesome. You're then already getting the feeling of already having completed the task. And I think that's a very interesting thing just to be aware of as you're aiming towards a goal. So if you're already feeling like you've already accomplished the task, it makes you less likely to actually perform it to its completion. Is what I'm getting at.
We had one more, or were there two more?
If we can do two more, I think that would be great. But
All right.
There's definitely one for content creation. For Jason, I think would be a great question for him.
What's the question?
So the question, this is from Jared DJ Zephyrs. What other steps in content creation and community participation should locals and the community focus on doing?
I would actually say two things. One is just working on like higher production value and learning to copy start by copying current design trends that you like, and then you can like go from there and kind of explore and mess around a little bit. But like if there's a movie trailer that you really like and you want to like step up your hype trailer game, like try to mimic one of those as closely as you can. So like I would say getting production values up is a good way. But the other thing that there hasn't been much of that I think, if there's a huge potential for growth in esports as a consumer industry, then there need to be more creative programs about it. Like there's a huge possibility right now for like various forms of shows and various like routine type things that I don't know. People should like get creative and start coming up with alternative ideas for Smash other than documentary or hype video. Like there are just so many avenues of video creation and film creation. It would be really interesting to see some new stuff.
It's like some sort of more fresh ideas. I like it.
Yeah. Like I mean, honestly, even if you just look at ESPN and a lot of those shows and like the relatively high production value, being able to break down matchups and like if a lot of people talk about how they want to do that. I hear so many people tell me about great video ideas that they have, but like I never actually see this stuff really get put into play. So like honestly, I would say the next step in content creation is if you have an idea, just do it. Like it might be crappy at first and you have to hammer it out for a little while, but that's what everyone has to do. So just gun for it.
Everybody starts out sucking at everything that they do. and you just have to get through that to get better.
Yeah. Once you do, it's really fun. I mean, like, if you have a cool idea that's taken from Smash and you think you can, or from like ESPN, and you think you can edit, well enough and get something cobbled together, do it. I think I would love to see more stuff like that, especially since I honestly don't even get to see that many tournaments myself. I'm usually pretty busy and I don't have a lot of time to actually sit down and watch them. So whenever I'm making videos, I'm scrambling to find clips of the players that I want to represent. So I mean, sometimes I look at like the top 10 videos, but it would be pretty cool if someone like could break down small moments in cool things, and I would find pretty interesting moments to put in.
Cool.
All right.
So then we have one more I think we want to do, because there's two people that asked this question. Fred Flowers and Chicago Ben are both asking Melee It On Me if we would consider doing our own tier list, given that, there's no Smash Backroom anymore. Nobody's taking initiative on it. So, what do you think, Robin?
This has been a thing for a while. We are going to make a tier list soon.
Yes, yeah.
Just that we're all very busy people, and just there hasn't been the initiative started yet. But I believe Sleepy K is gonna head it up. So just stay tuned. It'll happen. Don't know when.
Yes. Hopefully, I don't know.
I just want to assure you guys, Falco, I'm going to do my darndest to make sure Falco's top 2.
I'm starting to think Marth deserves that number 2 spot. I'm starting to think.
I'm going to fight to my death to make it Falco.
I'll put him number 3.
Marth?
Yeah.
Wait, Marth or Falco?
Marth.
No, Marth's definitely number 2.
I support Sheridan.
Depends on how much you want to balance empirical data with the theoretical, because I think more theoretical is way up there, and
yeah, especially with some new tech like Z power shields, it's going to make the neutral game against Falco even easier.
Yeah, with all disjointed hitboxes and anti-spacey technology, I see Marth staying up there for a long time.
Yeah. But anyway, it's going to be Falco in second, so I think we can all agree on that.
Fly is saying that there is a tier list project in the works.
Oh, interesting.
But
do we know who's heading it or anything?
I haven't had any details on that.
Sleepy K for MIOM.
Is that the one Fly's referencing, though?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know. But I feel like whoever does the tier list, it's got to be something like MIOM. Otherwise, people are just gonna be like, this isn't official. So, see, there's been a lot of knockoff. Yeah, I don't care about the knockoff tier list from like Reddit or whatever. Those don't really matter. You got to get a panel together of very trusted opinions.
Okay, so he is talking about Sleepy K.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So as long as the panel of trusted opinions is a thing, that'll be fine.
But I think in MIOM chat, like, the idea is that we would be working with Sleepy K.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yes to both things.
Okay. Sweet. Do we have any other ones, or is that it?
The others are kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah. Falcon's cool, guys. Jared, DJ, Falcon's cool. I think the rise of Falcon mains is great.
I love that. I don't know if you guys saw the videos of Nun versus Kage and Reina.
Kage,
Oh god, those are wonderful.
Watch that.
Those are some wondrous videos. Nun Falcon is like his offense just like is really, really good in certain stretches. And I find it really funny that he's like probably the opposite. He's probably like everything the Florida Falcons hate about Falcon. Like Gatsu, Wizzy, and Gravy. They all think that Falcon should be this optimal, boring
dash dance
ball
camping
of firepower, but none. It comes from like the dark green S2J school of styling, and I would love to see him go to more majors.
You know, it's interesting that this person kind of brought it out or framed it as like the rise of Falcon mains, but for me, it's more like in different tiers of play, like in the top echelon of Smash, Falcon's gone down, and in the like mid to upper mid, he's gone up. So he's kind of, you know, it's a weird thing.
Gonna be stuck in 7th forever. Maybe
pretty
8th.
much.
Maybe he might fall as low as 8th. He's never gonna fall lower than 8th ever on the tier list.
Yeah. Unless all of a sudden a whole bunch of Yoshis come out of nowhere.
Oh god.
No, that's an interesting topic. That's gonna be the character, the hot topic for the next tier list.